Okay, welcome back to Transcend with Yafa, presented by Efrat, where every woman who wants to have her baby can. My husband, Rabbi Nisso Palti, always love having you here in the studio with me.
Thank you.
And today, what are we going to talk about? I think this is going to air right in the middle of Elul, heading towards Rosh Hashanah.
Okay. Well,
I know.
now it's happening already. We're getting there.
Intense.
Yeah. Again, a time of the year, where we need to give an accounting and we need to get our act together.
Get our act together. But at the same time, I think this time of year is often very misunderstood.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the depth of exactly what role does Elul play in the whole entire thing is not always so clear. You ask people, okay, what are you supposed to do during Elul? And they're going to say tshuva, and Rosh Hashanah, tshuva, and it says tshuva,
so
and Yom Kippur, of course, tshuva. Then what's the difference? Exactly. So I'm not sure that we're always very aware of
the nuances between each one. Like, what I love about Elul is, and I actually do really love this time of year, Elul for me is that in-between place.
Is it because we got married in Elul?
Oh, it's our anniversary. That's what I meant to say.
That's why.
That's what I meant.
I thought so.
So Elul is that space where you get to look back at the whole year behind you and see everything you've done, everything that's happened, all you've accomplished, all you've become. And you also are at that vantage point where you're also looking ahead, because it's almost the next year and you can see, all right, now based on all the things I've done, what do I want to do this year? Based on who I've become last year, who do I want to become this year? Right? So it's a really, really wonderful place to be, where we're able to have hindsight and foresight at the same time.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a great opportunity. Everything should be seen as an opportunity. Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, as much as intense as it is, and it is difficult, to be able to get through. And of course, by us who have real emunah, that we are really being judged, I mean, is even scary. But it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity that we have to be able to refresh our life.
Yeah, for sure. And at the same time, to connect with the energy of Elul.
Yeah.
So what is the energy of Elul? Again, as opposed to the energy of Rosh Hashanah, Asar Simei Tshuva, Yom Kippur, the unique energy of Elul. What would you say?
Yeah, so I think it's worth it to spend a minute just very, very briefly remembering the story of Elul. How does Elul come to be?
Yeah.
Well, why is it that we have from Elul, Sfardim start saying slichos? I don't want to talk about that because it's so hard.
That's an injustice. Our type of Sephardi, we're Turkish, okay? We don't get to eat rice on Pesach, but yet you have to wake up every morning for slichos?
I know.
I mean,
that used to be the exchange.
Exactly. It was
I understand that.
Yeah, I used to think that Sephardim had to slay slichos for 30 days every year because to make up for the Aveira of eating rice on Pesach.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed. Yeah, I don't know where to complain. So,
but yeah, so slichos, you get up every day.
We shall survive. So, so we have slichos, but why start on Rosh Chodesh Elul? And Ashkenazim blow the shofar every morning. Why Rosh Chodesh Elul? Maybe 15 days before Rosh Hashanah, maybe 45 days, maybe from Tu B'Av, whatever. Why specifically? So the history of Elul starts with Chet HaEgel, which Chet HaEgel starts the entire process of tshuva, by it being the greatest sin in our nation, our history. So then we did the Chet HaEgel, and then Moshe Rabbeinu tries to get, eventually very successfully, Hashem to forgive us. And that whole entire process implied that Moshe Rabbeinu ended up going up to Shemayim 3 times for 40 days and 40 nights. And with that eating, with the drinking, sleeping, the same story happened 3 times. It's a little machlokes over there, Rashi and the Ramban, but this is certainly Rashi's take. And so before Elul, which was going to be the last time that Moshe Rabbeinu goes up to Shemayim, Rosh Chodesh Elul, and then he comes out 40 days later on Yom Kippur, Yud Tishrei. So what happened was that he had gotten HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive us. Basically, he was not going to annihilate us anymore and whatever. But there was a point where we were not going to be Klal Israel anymore.
Right.
It was just going to be like, okay, I'll forgive them. Because Moshe argued that, Lama yomeru Mitzrayim lemor, why should they say that you just took them out of Mitzrayim? What's going to happen to your kavod of Hashem?
He
Igdal na
defended
koach
us.
Hashem.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say he defended us and Hashem at the same time.
Exactly, which was
incredible.
amazing.
But continue. Yigdal.
And then Igdal na koach Hashem, it's because of you. And also, he said, you made a promise to the Avot, to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, that you were going to give us the land. And really sorry, but, you're a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You need to keep your promises.
Yeah.
You can't just start saying, oh, well, they sinned. Pasnisht. I don't know if Moshe spoke Yiddish, but...
I mean, if you look at the coloring books, it looks like he spoke Yiddish.
He probably did. He had pay your son, Steimel. Yeah, so, but that's... So there was a point where there was this, like, we'll keep them alive, but they are not the chosen nation anymore. No more mitzvos, no more nothing. So Moshe Rabbeinu rejects that completely. He says to Kodesh Baruch Hu, if that's the case, then I prefer actually that you wipe us out, because there is no purpose of to Klal Israel but to be Am HaNivchar and to do our mission in this world. So, but what happened was very nice that Moshe Rabbeinu wants us to become again the Am HaNivchar with all of Tariach mitzvos, all 613 and everything, but it's not really up to Moshe Rabbeinu. It's up to us. So Moshe Rabbeinu sits down with us right before Rosh Chodesh Elul, and he says, okay, guys, here is the deal. I have two contracts. Contract A, Hashem is going to save our life, and he's not going to destroy us or do anything to us. He's going to give us Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, the land of milk and honey, and he's going to just leave us there, and we're going to be like every other nation. And, we'll do our thing, and we'll fight our wars, and we'll plow the land and harvest and eat and whatever, and we'll be there. Yeah, probably for a few centuries until, just like everybody else, will disappear, but nice and easy. No more mitzvos, no more you have to keep Shabbos and kashrus, and you cannot eat this and you cannot eat that, and no more you cannot have chicken parmesan, and today, I don't know, with all the, they have like or I don't know, but I don't know, I have that in my head, chicken parmesan as the treif thing, no bacon. What?
No, because if there was one thing that you would eat, it would be chicken parmesan.
Probably, I don't know. We can't eat this, we can eat that, and then we cannot speak this or that, Lashon Hara, and then if we do speak Lashon Hara, we feel all guilty about it.
That's right.
That's right. So then we need to Shachris, Mincha, Ma'ariv, and this and that, and the whole thing. So he says, that's it. You're free from them. That's option A. Option B, if you want, we can go back to become the Am HaNivchar. Hashem is willing to consider that. With all the 9 yards, that's how you say it in,
The whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. But it's your choice. You don't have to.
It's a package.
It's a package. And that's where, this is the most beautiful thing about Elul. That's where Klal Yisrael said, we want it.
We're in.
We're in. And then Moshe Rabbeinu said, okay, but it's not just saying it. You have 40 days to convince the Kadosh Baruch Hu down here on earth, in your hearts, that that's what you want. And I'll be up there. And if you succeed here to convince him, then I'll come down with the Luchos Hashnios, which is the complete rectification of the relationship.
That's right.
It's like, the Luchos are the ring between husband and wife. The ring was originally broken because the relation was broken, and getting the Luchos Hashnios is getting the ring again. Right. So that's what happened. Klal Yisrael opted in. And that's a great concept. The Beis HaLevi says this. The difference between Luchos Harishonos and Luchos Hashnios, Luchot Harishonot, Hashniot, tablet. Am I supposed to translate everything? No.
Oh,
okay.
You could say.
Okay, the tablets.
The tablets, yeah.
Yeah. And he says that the Luchos Harishonos were Dodili Vanilo. Hashem is the one who took always. He was active, we were passive. He took the initiative. And we just went along for the ride.
Yeah.
He took us out of Mitzrayim. We went out, no choice. He offers us the Torah. We're in the middle of the desert, no food, no drink if he doesn't want to give it to us. And it kind of, okay, I'm not diminishing in any way the Nasa Venishma, but at the end of the day, we really went for the ride and we went along with it. And he says...
So it was really a relationship of Hashem giving and us receiving.
Exactly.
One way.
And one way. And from the beginning, it was meant to be broken. It wasn't going to last.
It wasn't going to last.
Because we were not invested in it.
A relationship like that can't last when it's one way, you're not invested.
Exactly. Or when there's this person that you tell them constantly, I love you, and whenever you tell them I love you, then they say, me too.
Me too.
But you're waiting
to hear, like, initiate.
When are you,
or they just say thank you,
exactly.
Even worse.
Yeah, even worse.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Right?
When are they going to go up and wake up one morning and say, look.
There's no reciprocity or initiation in the relationship. It can't last.
That's what it does. Dodili, my beloved to Mrs. Kleisel, Vanilo.
Vanilo, okay,
exactly.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then Elul is Anil, Dodi,
Vedodili. We initiate it.
We initiate it.
Love it.
That's what's powerful. So I think that's a lot of what we need to do in Elul. We need to ask ourselves, do we really want this? We need to opt in. We need to choose in.
Am I choosing in?
We need to stop getting just dragged along. Some of us were born in it. And it's part of life, and it became a habit, and that's what everybody else around us, especially if you live in a frum neighborhood. And sometimes, the detrimental part, the bad part about it is the fact that we just do the thing. Sometimes we do it without feeling, and not just the whole thing. Even sometimes we are passionate, but many other times we just do it by rote. We don't really do it. No. And this is really what Elul is supposed to awaken us. Uru, says the Rambam so beautifully, Yeshenim Mishinaschem. Wake up.
That's really the energy of Elul, but it's the energy that we have to bring with us into the rest of the year. It just wakes up in Elul.
Yeah.
Right? This energy of asking myself, why do I do the things I do? Why do I do the mitzvos? Why am I wearing this on my head? Why am I dressed like this? Why do we keep Shabbos? Why do we keep kosher? Why are we doing the things we're doing? Am I doing them just because my mother did it? Am I doing it because my community does it? Am I doing it because it's just a habit? I don't want to, be ostracized from my community. Like, why am I doing the things I'm doing?
Exactly.
Or am I doing them with intention because I'm choosing to do them?
That's critical. Because before you come to Kadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Hashanah and you're going to tell him, I want, of course, Sefer HaChaim, I want to be inscribed in a year of good life, long life, good health, whatever, all
Amen.
The good things.
Amen.
Before you come to that and before you come to really fix your relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu and say that he's our king, our melech, it needs to be real.
Yeah.
You can't just come and fake it. It needs to be real. Hashem is really going to be wondering, do you really want me to be your king?
That's right. That's right.
And this requires, changing some of our mindsets. Probably one of the most important mindsets that, I don't know if we have that mindset sometimes consciously or subconsciously. I don't know if us, if our children. And there's the mindset that the mitzvos are hard and that the mitzvos get on the way.
Yeah.
Of the good life.
Inconvenient.
The good life would be amazing to be able to go to an airport. That's really what it shocks me.
I know.
Yeah. That's, I don't really have a type for many trade things.
Yeah.
But when you travel, it looks so easy. It's so like, they just go land in any airport in the world and there is like pizza and this and that. You just sit down and eat.
We're schlepping an entire suitcase of food wherever we go, and they're just like, I'm hungry, let me go sit down and eat, right?
Exactly. Maybe 100%. That's why the Jews have this trauma. Why the Jews, how the Jews survived 4 years in the desert. Their mothers made them lunch. Maybe that's why we carry so much. Exactly. But gets on the way. It would be great to just be able to go to all the same beaches that everybody else goes and do what everybody else does. But the Torah is on the way. And when we see it that way, we're saying it wrong.
Yeah.
We're saying it wrong. And
well, this is why Rosh Hashanah. Oh, you want to finish your thought first?
No, I want to hear you.
The Rosh Hashanah is the time to do this because Rosh Hashanah we translate as the head of the year, but Shana also comes from the word shinoi, right? Which means to change. Rosh, shinoi, change your head. This doesn't mean getting a head transplant, okay? This means changing your mindset. This is the time. You want to have a good year? We want to have a great year. Shana Tova. We're wishing everybody a good year. How do you have a good year? Maybe we need to change our mindset. How are we looking at the things in our life? How are we looking at what's our view of life? What's our view of ourselves, of the people around us, of Hashem? What's our view of Torah and mitzvos? How do we perceive things? This is the time to make that mindset shift.
Right. And I think it starts with, like think about it. Why did Hashem give us so many mitzvos? 613, so many mitzvos aseh, so many mitzvos lo taseh, even more lo taseh than aseh. So, you have to choose. Like, it's either because, I don't know, that Vav Sivan, that Shavuos original day in Har Sinai, Hashem really doesn't like us, and then he's just trying to make our life miserable. Or is it because he loves us? And then seeing every mitzvah like a discipline. Discipline is the art of learning how to enjoy something in the deepest and longest way.
Yeah.
And every mitzvah is not just to limit you because of halila, because of a whim, or just because. It's really there to teach you to have discipline. It's like you give a child a bag of candy, and if the child eats a whole entire bag right now, so then what's going to happen is that his teeth are going to hurt, and his stomach, and he's going to, and also he's going to throw out half the bag.
Yeah.
At the end, he's not going to enjoy it as much. He's not sick of it. If he has discipline and he's able to eat just one today, maybe one tomorrow, maybe one on Shabbos, then he will enjoy it much more and for a much longer time.
That's right.
Every single mitzvah is Torah's chaim, and it's meant to make our life better, whether we understand it or not.
I think that's really the key. The mitzvos are not about making our lives easier. They're about making our lives better.
Exactly. And then at night, your mother tells you, little child, that you need to go to sleep. She's the ogre. She doesn't let me just do the whatever thing it is that I am doing, and I don't want to go to sleep, and she's insisting and whatever. She's getting tough about it. Ultimately, what's the point? Yeah, if you don't go to sleep on time, then the next day, you don't even realize sometimes the benefits. You're not mature enough to understand, smart enough to understand that. But you only feel good during the day because your mom made sure that you went to sleep at night. Right. So that restriction was really a discipline that's allowing you to have a good life. And so it starts with the love of Hashem. Dodi means my beloved. Understanding on Elul how much Hashem loves us, how all the mitzvos are for us. And then we're probably going to feel silly, not to say stupid. Why didn't I do them?
Yeah, exactly.
That's real tshuva. I say that there is, we speak about tshuva me'ira, tshuva mehava.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like tshuva from the ira that I have for Hashem, or tshuva me'ahava from the love that I have for Hashem. But I think this is a tshuva me'ahava that comes, the tshuva from the love that Hashem has for me.
Yeah.
If you are able to feel deeply all that love, then you're going to want to do tshuva. And actually, we say that in Tachnun. I'm not 100% sure if Ashkenazim say it also. It's very possible that they do. At the end of the whole entire list of Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Divarnu, Dofi, etc., all the Aleph base of Averos that we say in the daily Tachnun, we end, Mesarnu mimitzvotecha mimishpatecha atovim, and we separated. We went away from your mitzvot tovim, velo shava lanu, and it wasn't worth it. Until you come to the point where you can honestly think to yourself and feel it's not worth it. I'm not being smart, I'm not being, So then...
Yeah, I'm not making choices that are in my best interest.
Exactly. And I'm convinced it's in my best interest because the one who is telling me to do them loves me so much that it cannot be asking me anything.
Well, that's what it means to develop a relationship with Hashem. It means trusting that I might not understand why Hashem is asking me to do these things, but I know that if he's asking me to do them, it's because it's in my best interest, because there's nobody who loves me more than Hashem does.
Totally.
And in any relationship we have that, sometimes you have certain requests that are just very important to you. I don't understand them. I'm like, okay, what?
Especially when they're in Spanish.
But okay, if it's important to you, it's important to me. That is how I define love. One of the definitions of love, if it's important to you, it's important to me.
Yeah, like I
I don't
also...
understand it, or it's not that it doesn't mean to me what it means to you, but it's important to you, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, like I give an example to when I teach Hassanim and Carlos that, so we're going to go to your parents for Pesach. I don't love your brother. He's kind of annoying, but it's important to you to be with your family, so I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to go with you. And yeah, that is what love is. But the concept of choosing,
Yeah.
deliberately thinking to myself, this is what I want.
Yeah.
We have, we have a long history with Jewish people. I really do think that this is the era where it has to be me'ahava. There may have been times where era was what was supposed to be, which is actually a lower level, which is actually a more immature level.
It is.
But ahava is the highest level, the most mature level, when this is what I want, no matter what.
Well, is it the highest level, or is simcha even higher than ahava?
That's an interesting question. But, maybe they are connected.
They're probably connected.
Simcha
I think
and
simcha
ahava.
has to come from ahava. They're
It would be
connected in
hard
so
to
many
have
ways.
simcha if there is no ahava, no?
Yeah, 100%. It's a result of ahava.
Yeah, probably, exactly. It's what comes after.
Yeah.
What comes after
But
that.
but that's true. It's all about choosing, and this is why, like when we ask Hashem, we want a sefer chayim, we want Hashem to give us another year of life. First of all, we have to define what life is. Does life mean just another year to exist, or does it mean a year to live with intention, to do things mindfully, deliberately, right? To know that that's what true life is. Life is not just about existing, right? It's not about having a heart that beats. Life is about having a heart that sings, right? It's about, why am I here? Why do I do the things I do? Is there meaning and purpose in my actions, right? And even more than that, I think what Hashem tells us when we say, I want to be written in Sefer Chaim, Hashem says, okay, you're the author, you're writing the book, Ubacharta b'chaim, choose life.
You need to choose it.
Choose it.
Yeah, and look, choosing is so important. And also we need to have that ability to choose, and we need to give our children also. They need to come to a point in their life where I'm not just doing it because mom and dad did it, or because all my neighbors do it, or my friends. There has to come a point in everybody's life where they really opt in, when they decide, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I remember something that happened to me when I was young that really marked me. I was 12 years old. This was 1986 in Mexico City. And for anybody that knows, probably most Americans don't, in 1986, it was the World Cup, the soccer World Cup in Mexico.
Big deal.
Very big deal, okay? And I'm, of course, a 12-year-old boy, and I'm very excited about the whole soccer thing and whatever. And I love Brazil. And even though Mexico, I'm a fan of Brazil, who then and for a long time has been one of the best teams in the world. So, okay, one Shabbos, we're sitting over there and in shul, and my father's kil in Mexico was not very frum at all. Most people were not Shomer Shabbos. And even though it was Orthodox officially,
Philosophically, it was Orthodox.
Yeah. These things are worked differently in Latin America than in the U.S.
Also, they're very nuanced.
Yeah. So this guy comes, he's my friend with his father, my friend my age with his father. They were pretty wealthy. And they happened to come that Shabbos to shul. And as we are coming out of shul, we are walking out, and they are probably going to their car that they parked a block away or something. I don't even know if it was a block away or maybe across the street. I don't think they were too embarrassed. And the guy turns to me and he says, "You know what, Nisso? We are on our way to Guadalajara, the second largest city in Mexico, for the game in the semifinals or quarterfinals of Brazil-France." I remember. It was massive. This is like
It's
it.
like way better than Disneyland.
It's like the Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
He wants to, and he says, I'll be happy. You're invited. Why don't you come, join us. I'll pay you everything. The airplane ride, the flight,
Everything.
tickets, everything. Somebody's taking you free to the Super Bowl, you know?
12 years old.
I'm
This
12.
is prime.
I'm not bar mitzvah yet.
Right.
I'm also remember, it's not like I live in a frum neighborhood with frum people around. I'm the only
You're
frum
the
kid.
only Shomer Shabbos kid.
The only Shomer Shabbos kid. I'm already like 1,000% frumer than anybody else around me. So, I turned to my father.
So this is Shabbos.
It's Shabbos.
And he's asking you to come with him right
Shabbos,
then to the airport.
11:30 in the morning, right after Shachris. And I turned to my father, of course, expecting my rabbi father to say, no, end of story, we'll go home, have some chamin, cholent, and it's over. But my father, typically, he just says, whatever you want, you choose. Whoa, it's like the worst thing your father can tell you, you know.
So that's a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
and
that's the
tough.
worst.
That's a hard decision.
That's the worst. That is the worst. And, you know, having to make choices is actually more difficult.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we don't realize we try to get away from having to make choices because having to make choices means responsibility. I was trying to throw the responsibility on my father.
On your father.
And he threw it back at me. So what am I going to do? I'm only 12 years old and whatever. And it's Brazil against France and whatever. And it's...
A once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, once in a lifetime opportunity. And then I said, no.
You chose not to.
I chose not to. So, you know, it marked me. And I think it was a building block in my life. And also, I didn't become a rabbi because my father was a rabbi. Thanks to him and, you know, to the openness at the end that he gave us. Mm-hmm. And I chose to be who I am. And I think it has been very valuable to me always. Yeah. Just different. If my father would have just told me not to go, it would have been a forgotten moment of one more no in my life.
Yeah. But you would have been disappointed, you would have been whatever, and then you would never have remembered the story. It wouldn't be a story to tell.
It wouldn't be a story.
No.
Now, my father took his risks.
Impacted you.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have, but he took the risk, and Baruch Hashem, I think it turned out.
Absolutely.
So we need to really, need to be there. We need to really, really be there and understand that I am here because I want to be here.
And we have to know that for ourselves, and we have to teach our children that the Torah is about responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. This is why we fought it. We resisted it a little bit on our way to receiving the Torah. This is why we complained about going back to Mitzrayim. Why we wanted to go back to being slaves? We were oppressed. We were abused. We're talking about the free fish that we got there. It wasn't about that at all. It was about being a victim. It was so much easier to be a victim because we had every excuse in the world. I'm a victim. It's not. I don't have to take responsibility.
Which is a slave by definition. The one who doesn't is not responsible.
Not responsible.
That's why Chazal say, "Avda be'efker anichale." The slave likes the efker. Exactly the lack of responsibility. That's what he likes. The boss is the boss. He'll decide everything. I just follow.
And meanwhile, the Torah is all about responsibility.
Exactly.
And we were just so afraid to receive that Torah and to have to live with that responsibility and make choices. Now we have to choose between what's moral, what's not, what's ethical, what's not, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. Choices are not easy, but choices are what builds us. And every time we choose what's right, that is actually what creates our self-confidence. That's what builds us into self-confident, whole, connected people. Because if we have to make a choice between what's right and wrong, or between what's right and fast or easy, right? Then we feel good about ourselves. I just chose what's right instead of choosing what was easy or what was fun or desirable, right? I chose what's right. Oh my gosh, I feel good about myself. And then it's a virtuous cycle. Next time you have to make a choice, you're choosing good.
And it gives you a lot of strength.
And gives you a lot of strength. And that's what the mitzvos are. That's why the mitzvos are not what, they don't make our lives easier. They're inconvenient sometimes, but they make our lives better because we live with so much more purpose. We make good choices, good decisions, and it just helps us grow and become healthier and stronger and more self-confident. We live with dignity. That's an incredible way to live. We live with intention, purpose, meaning. I can go on and on. There's nothing like it.
Nothing
And
like
there's
it.
nothing that fills you up more and what ultimately brings you more simcha than living with those, with
Right.
making good
We
choices.
need, to kind of
Tie everything in.
tie everything in. We need to. This is the time of the year to stop allowing ourselves to just be dragged on,
That's right.
to just be a part of a system that kind of goes by itself and just doing things by rote. And it is a time to say to ourselves that this is what I want. And a way to do, an important, very important way to do it is really to learn.
Learn.
The more we learn, the more we understand
Limud
the
HaTorah.
value of mitzvos. The limud Torah is
Education.
a very powerful education, and it makes it. That's why the Etz Yosef says, one of the Mefarshim on the Siddur, he says that we say be'aer eneinu b'toirasecha b'dabek livenu b'mitzvotecha. One kimat Ashkenaz, one Sfard. But it's even a song. Well, so somebody made that also into the. So, be'ayrenenu, and you will enlighten our eyes with your Torah. He says that's limud Torah. Be'dabek livenu b'mitzvotecha, and then our hearts are going to be attached to the mitzvos. If you
I love
enlighten our eyes with the Torah, then our hearts are going to be attached, and we're going to achieve the
Right.
passion, the love that we need to be able to do it. And that's what it is when we really, really, really come to Rosh Hashanah after a whole entire month of really internalizing how much Hashem loves me and how much I want to love Hashem.
Yeah.
That's going to make a different Rosh Hashanah, a different Yom Kippur, and a different life, a different year.
Absolutely. So it's all about choosing, the different categories that we place ourselves in. The two most famous ones are BT, FFB, right? Baal Tshuva, from birth. So technically, I would fit into the FFB category, from birth. But, I have a different category I created for myself. I call myself an FFC, which is from choice, because this is a choice I make every day. Every day we get to wake up and decide who we're going to be that day. Every day we get to wake up and say, is this the life I am choosing? Is it not the life I'm choosing?
Totally.
It's our choice every day.
It's Hashem.
It's an amazing thing, And I think that I guess to wrap everything up, just to sum up this idea, again, it's about transcendence. What does transcendence mean in this area, right? How do we transcend in the month of Elul? So I think, in B'chukosai Telechu, Hashem tells us to, if you walk with my Torah, take my mitzvos with you. That's the understanding of walk. You walk somewhere, right? Take my mitzvos with you. What does that mean? Take my mitzvos with you. So, one way to understand it, the way I like to understand it is, we have to own our Torah. And that's why learning it is so important. If you don't own your Torah, you become a victim of halacha.
True.
Right? We have to say, this is my Torah.
Halila.
Right? Exactly. And what does that mean practically? When you sit around the Shabbos table, we love we do this in our home, and this is just an idea for other people to take with them. It's not, we don't block out a minute or 2 minutes and say, okay, everyone, Dvar Torah, Dvar Torah. We say Dvar Torah, and then we're back to the regular mundane of whatever we were talking about. We have conversations at the table. We bring everybody in. Ask kids, what's their idea? Ask a question. You always ask a question.
Right.
You always ask a question, and you don't necessarily give an answer. Right? You let the kids
is
figure
even
it out.
better.
Everybody thinks. We talk about it. We discuss it. How does a child feel when they give a really great answer to a great Torah question? This was my question. This was my mitzvah. This is my Torah.
You get them involved. They
them
want to be
involved.
there. They want to talk about it, want to
Yeah.
hear of it. It makes all the difference in the world. And that's what David HaMelech said.
Yes.
Ma ahavti Toratecha kol hayom hi sichati. How much I love your Torah. It's my... Rashi says, sicha is jivui devarim shel mavach. It's the conversation of every day.
Yeah.
So some people like talking about the weather. Some people like talking about sports because that's really what they like. And David HaMelech used to love talking about Torah. Kol hayom hi sichasi. And it's supposed to be a sicha. Our conversation on Shabbos, our natural conversation is supposed to revolve around Torah.
That's right. Wow. So that's it. So this is how we choose in. And let's ask ourselves these questions. Why do I do the things I do? And let's make sure we have an answer to that.
Absolutely.
And we live more intentionally. We're not a victim of life, but we're a force of life. And And everything we do is with intention, and that's how we're able to transcend, get out of victim mode, not live as victims of halacha, not live as victims of life, victims of Torah, victims of, oh, this is mine, I own it. Hashem gave it to me, and I am choosing every single day to be in this relationship.
This is what I want to do.
Love that. All right, amazing. Great conversation. Thank you.
As always.